Hi, you guys. So, in my work around relationships, what I see a lot, and I've even experienced, is a tendency for people to get involved in relationships or relationship dynamics that like honestly don't make a lot of sense. Like, it even confuses the person in the relationship why they're so interested and connected and engaged with this relationship dynamic, because this person doesn't make sense in their life. It doesn't make sense in their life map, or this person's behavior doesn't make sense. And it comes like Esther Perel talks about how relationships, like passion, requires a lot of insecurity or uncertainty, and solid relationships require a lot of certainty. And the same people who get involved in relationships that have a lot of confusion and don't make a lot of sense, or the same kind of people who are attracted to people with addiction issues, or people that are vulnerable and like seem to strongly need healing and be broken in some way, people who are like being guided by their heart towards and connecting towards these people, they're getting a lot of uncertainty from the relationship. So they're getting really embroiled in this relationship, and it can be really confusing. And the thing is that it can come from, just being a really kind, sweetheart person, right? And we'll get back to that as far as like breaking off from this person. And like, it can also come from being an insecure person too. But basically, whether it's kindness or your own personal insecurity, you're leading with your heart, you're seeing through the eyes of the heart, and you're looking at these other relationships that are more grounded in practicality and to like whole and separate individuals, and you might see that as like kind of boring. Because there's a lot of certainty there and there's a lot of stability. But then you're in a relationship or out of a relationship or in and out of a relationship that is very uncertain, and you're really powerfully attracted to this person. You love them because you're leading with your heart. And if this person, so you can see what needs to be healed in them. You can see what's vulnerable about them. You can see what's broken in them, right? And so if this person is pulling on your heart energy a lot and you want to be there for them like a mother is for a child, that's like a beautiful, loving instinct. And it's also a great formula for codependence, because it's like, I love you, like my security is coming from the fact that I know you need me, And so that's where the security is in that relationship. So that's how this relationship can get really deep and really connected, really big, really easily, is because you've got that security, because you know that that person needs healing. They're fragile, they're broken, they need your love. And then at the same time, they're unpredictable. The relationship's unpredictable. You're confused about what you're even doing or why you're even so hooked in. And so that just sort of is actually quicksand and hooks you in deeper. So the thing is that when you're getting the security from the fact that this person really needs you, you're not getting the security that you can trust them, or that they can safely represent your interests and create and maintain a safe and solid relationship. And so we can be really, really tolerant because we have so much love for this person, and we can be really blind to what their behavior is showing us. It's like you know that you've got this security, you've got all this love happening, and you might not be being as honest with yourself because you are leading with your heart. You're not like a person from the outside might think that you're absolutely crazy to continue to be in this relationship. Or a person, from the outside, or if you were to be really like practical and concise and critical of this relationship, you might see like, I can't count on this person to show up. I can't count on this person to be monogamous. I can't count on this person to be honest. Like, I can't count on this person to hold up their end of the bargain to give back what I'm offering to them. But you may not see that because you're so wrapped up in the fact that they're like really, you know, you're in love with them and you're offering love to them, and you've got this security that you know that they need it, and yet for some reason it's still not a good relationship. So oftentimes this relationship isn't going to pan out, and relationships are often our opportunities to set new standards. Your comfort zone, you know, might be that kind of a relationship, but when it ends and all breaks apart, you have the opportunity to set a new standard, to create a new comfort zone. But again, out of kindness, out of being a heartfelt person, and out of just emotional healing, you might continue on and start to go blind again. And start to backslide a little bit, where it's like, I'm so sad, like kind of victim out on yourself, like, we broke up and I miss him so much and why couldn't it work? And the longer it is from when it didn't work to when you're thinking about why it couldn't work, because these emotions take time to process, the less you're going to really be clear on why it can't work, and the more it's going to seem like maybe it could. And so it's possible that this person is going to come back and seek you out again, that you are going to have another opportunity. And so this is what I'm talking about, backsliding. So you have the opportunity to bust out of your comfort zone, and your comfort zone and your minimum standards for relationships are basically where you're living. Like, people have a place that they live. And, you know, with like all of life, we have places that we live. And when we want more and we want different, we really have to move. And it's uncomfortable. And so backsliding and missing someone and lamenting this relationship, you know, that comes from a really generous heart, that comes from a really loving spirit, that comes from the opposite of that saying, like, hindsight is 20/20. It's like we start to get some distance and we start to lose clarity. And so then if you have the opportunity to maybe talk to this person again or heal this relationship again, then you have to really determine what's in it for you and which chance is this. So I like that saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So if you've learned this person's patterns and they're back in your life, or they're showing up again, or you have an opportunity, like here you have an opportunity to say whether or not you've actually shifted your minimum, you've actually shifted your comfort zone, you've actually shifted your standard. So it's like, which chance is this? You know, do you want to give them another chance? Like, so is this like a second chance? And so getting really honest with yourself, like, is this a second chance? Is this a third chance? Is this actually the fourth chance? Like, how many chances did you actually give this person? And which chance is this? And, you know, what says or shows that things are going to be different this time? And that's if you're thinking about giving it another shot. But basically, this person, if they're showing up again, here's an opportunity for you. It's an opportunity for you. And so what are you going to do with it? And do you need this opportunity at all? So you have a lot of thinking to do. And one of the things that can happen, and you have a lot of like clarity to seek, and you have a lot of getting really honest with yourself that's needed. And a lot of what we'll do is be like, oh, you know, he's back in my life. What does that mean? Or why is he back? And it's just like, what part of this opportunity is in alignment for you? Is this an opportunity for you to say, like, past, present, or future, like, this is ready to be left in the past? This needs to come into my future because there's still some unanswered questions. There's still some unresolved issues. There's still something more for me to work with now in the present. And that doesn't have to be like getting back into the relationship necessarily, but just, is there more work here? Is there something more for me that I need to bring this into the present? Or is this also like something that can be carried into the future? Can I actually, do I actually believe those thoughts that what happened, why couldn't it work? I wish it could have worked. I think it could work. Like seriously, I think at this point with some distance, when the person's showing up again, really recognizing that this is an opportunity for you to set a new minimum, to move your comfort zone to a different level for relationships, and not just go back to where you were or what you were attracting with this relationship. And I think when you ask yourself those questions about the past, the present, and the future, you'll get an intuitive answer on at least one or two of those questions. So it's not about them, it's about you. It's an opportunity for you. And every relationship is an opportunity for you to see where you're at, where you're living, what your comfort level is. And, if you choose to be at that level, then you can't choose something different, we have to be able to stay open to it. And a relationship's a really good example of how you wouldn't be open to something better or something different if you're choosing something that's known and not the level that you really want to truly live at. So, people can be in the same relationship patterns for, you can live in the same relationship patterns for 10 years, for 20 years, for 30 years. You can be doing this when you're 50, when you're 60, when you're 70. So every time you have a learning experience, you have the opportunity to shift, and it's going to be uncomfortable, and it's going to take being really honest with yourself, and it's going to take being really clear and decisive, and it's going to have to take being really aligned with yourself and your opportunities and what there is for you to get out of this, and an assessment of your past and your present and your future. And so, having said all that, I also wanted to just mention that you can't be with someone and expect them to change in the way that you think they should. You can expect that people, that you're choosing someone who is willing to work with you. You can expect that people will change, but you can't expect that they're going to change the way that you think they should. So it's much more realistic to be willing to see someone for who they are and be willing to love them and accept them for who they are, and to see if there's enough for you there to work with, than to rely on them to change because of what you, like a lot of times when you decide what you will tolerate and what's acceptable to you, that will be what causes that relationship to desist. So that's about everything I wanted to say about that. So if you do want to go ahead and schedule a clarity session with me, I'll put that link in the comments. But I wanted to talk about this common relationship tendency because it comes up a lot, and hopefully that helps you to get a little bit more clarity. I'll put the link to schedule a complimentary session one-on-one with me to talk about your situation specifically and the work I do and how it can help and serve you. If it appears to be a good fit, then we can talk about working together. And yeah, like if you know anyone who would benefit from this material, from this information, from this assessment, then go ahead and share it, okay? And like and follow my page, and feel free to message me or leave me a comment. And like I said, I'll put that link in the comments of this video, okay? So love to you. Namaste. Have a great day. Bye.